Hey guys, I'm LeilaFox. So today we have something fun we're doing on the test server. Basically, there's this really great Woad Painted Ironclad Arena nuking comp that I had wanted to build and try out on the test server since I actually don't have the champs. So let me show you what it's supposed to look like. You're gonna see, now this is from my friend HGCenty. HG, thank you, sent me a clip of what he did. It's Kymar, Woad Painted, and 2 Ironclads, and I'll show you in a minute why this works and how it works. But check this out. So we have Kymar that comes in with the snooze, right? Woad Painted comes with her A2 and nukes the team down. So one more time. Kymar coming in with his A2, takes off the buffs and snooze. Woad Painted comes with an A2 and nukes the whole team. Now, this is because of Woad Painted's A2 heal ability working along with the 2 Ironclads and their passive, okay? That's what makes this comps a lot of fun and what we were working to build on the test server. Now, I'll get a little bit more in depth in that too because I did build it. Mine doesn't do as much damage because a lot of it's really gear dependent as well too. But let's go take a look at the champs. All right, here we are, and you guys are gonna notice, like I said, I'm on the test server because on my main account, I actually do not have the 2 Ironclads. I got really lucky, and I ended up pulling both Ironclads out of just pulling about 200 ancient shards on this account. And I was kind of worried. I was hoping I didn't have to pull so many ancients, but I got really lucky at under 200 to pull both of them. So again, the comp is Prince Kymar, Woad Painted, and 2 Ironclads. Now, how the comp works, we could probably start with Woad Painted. So Woad Painted, with her ability, we're looking at her A2, it's Undying Fury. Her A2, what's important with this is, heals this champion by 100% of her max HP and heals all allies equal to 50% of the surplus heal. This is what's really, really important because it's going to work with the Ironclad's passives. So when we go to the Ironclads, you're going to see I have 2 of them and their passive is Bloodburst. When healed, attacks all enemies inflicting damage proportional to the surplus heal. Damage inflicted is equal to 50% of the surplus. So that's how this comp works, is, like you saw, Kymar comes in with a snooze. So basically you're going first. The enemy team should be CC'd. As the enemy team is CC'd, which is crowd controlled, for if you guys don't know what that means, she comes in with her A2. Now, again, everybody's fully healed. So we're talking about maximum surplus heal. And since we have a maximum surplus heal, we're looking at hopefully maximum damage because of the surplus heal. Now there's more to that as well, which I'm going to get to in a minute. But before we get to that, I'm going to show you, I'll show you the rest of them. So Prince Kymar, again, I have him the fastest on the comp as well because we want him to come in with his A2, the Abyssal Gaze, which is an AoE, removes all buffs and does a sleep debuff on the enemies. That's what we want, is we want them CC'd. Now, again, keep in mind, I am limited to the gear that I have. So what I had just showed you from HG, he has way better gear than I do. So we did the best we could. So with Kymar, I do have him at 316 and we have 217 accuracy is what I have for him. But that's what matters right now, is that he gets in and he's able to AoE, take off any buffs and snooze them. And as soon as that happens, then Woad Painted comes in. So with Woad Painted, we want her having as much HP as possible. Now, including her masteries, and I'll show you the masteries in a bit, is we ended up getting her to 96,000 HP. Okay. She's at 226 speed. She doesn't have to be as fast as Kymar, but you still need her, she still should have somewhat of a decent speed. Okay. And that's what's really important with her here. And you're going to see that I basically, she's in some immortal pieces. I did have her in 1 crit damage piece, it looks like. Yeah, she's in 1 crit damage piece. And now the masteries, we went down the defense and the support because we were trying to get masteries that would increase her max HP and help to increase the value of the heals that she would do. Because again, it works synergistically with the Ironclads, right? So here we are in defense and support. So we took Steadfast, which is max HP plus 810. We took Lay on Hands, which increases the value of heals cast by 5%. So again, we want more surplus heals on the Ironclads. And then the other one that ends up being important is the Elixir of Life, which is max HP by 3,000. All right. Now over on the defense tree, we were looking for Rejuvenation, which increases the amount of healing and the value of shields by 5%. So again, we're trying to get as much value out of her heals as possible and trying to stack as much HP on her as possible, because that's where the heals are coming from, okay? So this is Woad Painted. You're gonna see I left some of them where I didn't grab them because we didn't really have to. Yeah, so she's at 96,000 HP. Lore of Steel. We could do that. We could try Lore of Steel as well too. We'll do that too. All right, so we're gonna grab Lore of Steel since I'm here, and then there we go. So she is finished. And this one's gonna increase base stats. You know, so again, hopefully that should bump up her HP a little bit more. So let's check out her HP. She was at 96. Yeah, so she's still a little bit more, you know, 96,000, which is fine. Now, so the Ironclads. The Ironclads actually don't get a turn. It's their passive. So with that being said, the other stats really aren't important. What's important with this guy is we want 100% crit and we want as much crit damage as possible. Also, ideally, if we could get these guys into a Savage set, which you saw I was not able to. A Savage set ignores 25% of enemy defense. The first comp that I showed you, HG's, he has both of his Ironclads in Savage, which again is why it does more damage. I actually don't have the stats I need in Savage, and that's why you're gonna see is we're gonna have some broken pieces here. But this Ironclad is crit capped, and I have him at 223% crit damage, and also masteries help add a little bit of that to do, so I'm gonna show that in a minute. And then my second Ironclad, again, you're going to see broken pieces because I couldn't do it with Savage as much as I tried. Crit capped, and then we have 220 crit damage. But the idea is we want to try to get as much crit damage on these guys as possible. And you want them crit capped as well. So for this, we went down defense and offense. So same thing as we're looking at the Rejuvenation, the amount of healing they receive by 5%, because again, we want them getting as much surplus healing as possible for the damage, okay? Now coming down this way, I did get more crit damage. So we want crit damage plus 10%. So that's really important. Increases damage inflicted by 8% for the first hit on each enemy. And we wanted to come down to Helm Smasher. Now it was kind of a toss up, and I might play around with this honestly. Is Helm Smasher has a chance of ignoring 25% of the target's defense, kind of similar to what we were trying to do with Savage, even though I was able to get Savage gear on him. So it was a toss-up between Helm Smasher or Flawless Execution for crit damage plus 20%. And it doesn't mean I won't go back maybe and play around with it and see what we could do. But we have those, okay? Also, increases damage inflicted by 5% when attacking with full HP, okay? And I didn't really bother filling in the rest of this because I don't really think anything here is going to help with this comp right away. But both of the Ironclads I have set up as the same mastery. And like I said, I might play around with this Flawless Execution. Maybe after, you know, maybe another time and see how they do. Yes, okay, the question is, I see a question in Twitch chat asking about if you can use another champ. You can. The issue is I tested this. I tried Arbiter. You can use any other fast booster. The problem is, if you're gonna use another booster, you need Woad Painted just as fast, so she doesn't get cut in. Where if you're using Kymar, because he's CCing the team, she goes right after. And that's why you're able to see that my Kymar is over 300, but my Woad's probably at like 220 or something, right? Because I did test this. Initially, I tested it with Arbiter and it didn't work as well. Because again, I'm paced by the speed, I'm paced by the gear that I have. So trying to get my Woad to be as fast as my Arbiter so she doesn't get cut in was tricky. It was difficult. But you can, so you have to keep that in mind. Like there's Arbiter, there's Lysandra, there's definitely some other options, but you really have to make sure you speed tune your speed lead if it's not Kymar. And speed tune your Woad Painted so she doesn't get cut in. Because if she gets cut in, then it kind of kills the comp. You know what I mean? So I hope that helps to explain it. All right, so I showed you Kymar, I showed you Woad Painted, I showed you the 2 Ironclads, and I showed you guys the abilities and how this is supposed to work. So let's hop into Arena so I can show you what my team does and how it works. All right, so here we go. I found a fun team in Arena just to kind of have fun with this. So we do have Kymar as the speed lead because, again, 30% speed in Arena, Woad Painted and the 2 Ironclads, and we're not going to start it on auto because I want to show you. We're going to go step by step. All right, so Kymar goes first with the A2, which is the Abyssal Gaze, AoE snooze, snoozes. Now we have Woad Painted on the A2 again. So heals by 100% of her max HP and then heals allies equal to 50% of her surplus, which is why we want her having as much HP as possible. So she was able to nuke the 2 of them down, but not Helicath. So we did get 2 nukes in there, and then we're just gonna kind of auto it from here. But this is with the Ironclads not having Savage. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things we could try to fix on this, right? Is Savage gear for both of the Ironclads and just having better gear overall and trying to stack as much HP on Woad Painted as we could possibly get on her. But that is basically what that looks like. And that was just kind of a fun one, right? We had Helicath, we had the goat, and we had Kinagashi. And Woad Painted was able to nuke down both the goat and Kinagashi as well too. But that's kind of how this looks in practice. So I was able to put the comp together. But again, we're not able to nuke one shot just yet like it's supposed to be. But I hope you guys thought that this was fun. And the last thing we're gonna do, because my channel's obsessed with campaign farmers, is why don't we take them into campaign? Woad Painted, champion of the people. We'll let her do her thing. Hey, at least she's one-shotting them on her own. Look at that. Woad Painted. Whoever thought, right, guys? Who'd ever thought we'd be doing something fun and memey with Woad? Who'd have thunk, guys? Who'd have thunk? I mean, it's not fast. That's a full team farmer. But yeah, it was. That's why we just took Woad Painted in by herself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I thought this was a lot of fun showing Woad Painted as a nuker in the arena along with the Ironclads. If you guys are able to build this for fun, leave me some comments down below and let me know what you think. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, check out some more videos up here in the playlist on the top right.